Okay, my agents of chaos, it's time to get excited. This is the energy update for the 6th to the 12th of July, 2026. I'm Daisy, and this is Spiritual Mixtape. This is an exciting week, a really, really exciting week, and so is next week, and really the whole of July. None of us are coming out of this month the same as we went in. And I don't know about you, but I'm excited about this because I feel a little bit like a broken record at the moment. I keep saying the same things over and over again, and I'm going to basically the whole way through this update and next week's. But we've been waiting a really long time. We have been held in place, and finally we are being set free. And the point of all of this is to do it in the right way, not to just be set free into any old field. I say field because it's a fire horse year. To be set free to own and live in an identity that's true to your purpose and true to who you are, who you're really meant to be. And this isn't grandiose, although actually the astrology and the energy and even the numerology this month is giving once in millions of lifetimes, and it's referencing that back because frankly we've had that sort of energy all year. It is beautiful and brilliant and not messy, but it's so life-changing and has all of these quakes and seismic effect on us that it might look messy on the outside, and that may have us scrambling to try and neaten it up from a weird sense of decency, but get it all out, everyone. That is my advice for this week. Let it hang out, get it all out, take everything out the bag, throw it in the air, and don't care to put it back in. Revel in it. And the whole of this week is beautiful like that. And if you're resonating with this, if you want to throw everything out the bag and have been waiting for someone to give you permission to, you don't need permission. That's what July, and really that's what the whole of this year has been teaching us. You don't need permission. You do not need to let anybody stand on your shoulders. You do not need to make yourself smaller to fit in anymore. You go be your weird self. Everyone else will catch up to you. I think for a long time, a lot of us outliers out there probably have felt like we were trying to catch up with everyone else. But isn't it true that they're all catching up with us now? Wonderful. Now, everything this year has been building towards something, and it's been hard to see what it is. And I'd say that with July, especially with the new moon next week, with that whole minor grand trine as well, it's going to be hard to pinpoint what actually was your big change in this month, when you truly came out of the cocoon. And it will bleed into August as well. I say all of this because actually I have a little bit of an apology to make to all of you. As I was writing the update for this week and I was looking at the Sirius conjunction with the sun, the same day that the sun squares Saturn, don't be worried about a square or Saturn being mentioned in that sentence. Yes, it can be discombobulating for some. It can be more challenging than it needs to. But for everyone really in this community, the Sun-Saturn square on Monday is actually a nice, maybe nice isn't the right word, but it's not a combative square. It's a pressure test for something that you began around March 18. That was when the sun was conjunct. So that's when it was standing next to Saturn. And imagine it like this. The sun is your power source, so it's the most important, most valuable player in your selection of stars. And then Saturn is your coach. And they were standing together and they made a really good decision for how things were going to play out on your team. Monday is where it gets a little bit of a pressure test and it gets to see if this idea, this new way of doing things is actually holding up. And the thing that runs alongside it that I just mentioned to you, this Sirius conjunction with the sun. And if you're not that familiar with Sirius, Sirius is our brightest fixed star in the sky. It's actually 20 times brighter than the sun. We don't always think about it because it's a star. But in ancient Egypt, they loved Sirius. Sirius was a goddess that they worshipped because when she reappeared in the sky, after 2 months of disappearing, and we'll get to where she went, but when she reappears in the sky, the Nile would flood, and that would mean rebirth. It would mean a really good harvest. It would mean they could eat. She is a good omen. Her returning to the sky is a good omen. When she is conjunct the sun, this is when she is in the middle of being lost in the sky. And here is where my apology comes to all of you. A few episodes back, I was talking about a caterpillar, a cocoon, and a butterfly. I was talking about it in terms of surrender and the themes that were coming up that week. It was also about trusting in the thing that you can't see, but inside of you, you know it's true. So a caterpillar isn't wandering around going, how long is it going to take before I can have all the stuff and get in my cocoon and get out on my wings? They don't really understand that they're going to become a butterfly, but it is one of the most beautiful and important transformations in our natural ecosystem because of what it symbolizes. Caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly. That cocooning period is so essential to the end goal, to what you're truly meant to be. When I made that episode, I hadn't understood that that was the beginning of Sirius, our brightest star in our solar system, sinking down and not being visible in the sky. So everything that I was feeling about becoming a caterpillar and a cocoon was also feeling that energy. And why is that important? Okay, well, here we go. Do you like Lionsgate? Do you know much about it? In our modern spiritual terms, Lionsgate is the most important manifesting window, and it happens on the 8-8 portal. But that isn't completely true. The 8-8 portal has become like a shorthand for the Lionsgate. The Lionsgate is actually the moment that Sirius is at its return to the sky, when Sirius and the floodgates, they call it, open. So when Sirius becomes visible again in the sky, it's about 10 minutes before the dawn. And that's called the floodgates. The floodgates opening up, water comes, abundance comes. And it's also timed, believe it or not, when Leo is at 15 degrees in the sky as well. All of that is about the ideas of you being at your boldest, finest, your most abundant frequency. And it's also really great when the timing of it happens with 8-8, with the portal. I had felt all this energy come in, and I hadn't realized when I made that episode that what I was feeling was the beginning of the Lionsgate portal. Like you have a shadow with an eclipse or with a retrograde, where you're feeling the beginnings of the energy. That's what was happening with me. You're obviously feeling it too, because a lot of you liked that episode. Monday is the true opening of the Lionsgate, our most important manifesting window. And here is the magic part of it all. Sirius doesn't disappear. She doesn't drop below the horizon or anything like that. Like usually when we say like Venus falls out of the sky, you don't see Venus until she becomes a dawn star. This is different. Sirius moves behind the sun, or the sun moves in front of Sirius because Sirius is a fixed star. When that happens, Sirius is sacrificing her light 20 times brighter than the sun to give all of that energy to the sun, and indirectly or directly to us. It's a choice that is made for our sun to shine brighter and for that charge to come to us. It is so significant that this falls the week before a minor grand trine, a week before the Cancer new moon. This actual week, this beautiful week, the 6th to the 12th, has 3 really exciting bits of energy, which I'll talk you through now. And the sun is clearly a main player in all of this, and the sun always should be. If we don't have a sun, there is no life on Earth. We need its energy, its rays, its charge, its light codes for anything to survive here. There's no plants, there's no aggregation, there's no tides, there's no poles without the sun. This week, we also have Venus. And Venus is more like a quality check, a life audit that happens in the middle of the week. And it connects these two energies. So first of all, we have the sun working with Saturn and Sirius. And Sirius is obviously an ongoing theme for the rest of the month into the Lion's Gate. If you were really creating something meaty, manifesting, this is really an important gateway that's opening up. And I call it a gateway more than a portal, actually. This is beautiful and ancient in how it's appearing in our quantum field, in our energy field. And then on Sunday, we get to see Mercury retrograde really taking charge. I love a Mercury Cazimi, and I always love it when it's in retrograde because it's a moment of pause in the messy and chaotic side of a Mercury retrograde. And it's really the purest point of rewriting one story. And this isn't rewriting history. This is understanding emotionally the value of what has happened in order to inform the future and the present. So that's what happens this week. You have the start of the week, advantageous, exciting, somewhat scary, decisions and realizations. Then you have Venus entering Virgo and Venus conjoining, so that's standing next to the South Node. The South Node is the destiny that we have walked away from, that we have graduated from, is probably a better way of putting it. We haven't walked away from this destiny. We've literally lived it, done it, and we're off. And then we get this Sun conjoining Mercury retrograde, this Cazimi. Your dreams are going to be very, very, very heightened in all of this. And that is where one of my most exciting parts of this week, I'm just so excited about everything that's happened this week. Neptune goes retrograde on the 7-7 portal. I love a portal, a number anyway, but obviously we all love 7. None of this is a coincidence. Our 8-8 portal, let's say our modern answer to the Lion's Gate, this is the energetic moment where it opens. So not only is Sirius and the sun trying to open it the day before with that conjunction, and Saturn is giving a lot of direction in all of that as well. We then have Neptune and the 7-7 portal coming up behind it. And Neptune is also about what's hidden. Sirius is literally hiding in the sun. Or for us, we think Sirius is hiding, but Sirius is actually being the most important, valuable player backing up the sun. We haven't understood it. We think when something is absent, that it's left us. But we haven't been abandoned by any of these energies. They are just reconfiguring. And I think reconfiguration as an idea is so valuable to what is coming next week as well, which is this minor grand trine, this basket of energy in the sky. I'm really het up about these 2 weeks. Is why I'm actually going to record these 2 weeks back to back. Magic numbers, we like these. So, okay, everyone go get your journals or get your notes app out on your phone. I'm going to give you some dates to reference into. I really do like the Neptune retrograde because it does something that I think is so tidy. It really appeals to my neurodivergent mind. It opens into a retrograde or stations retrograde on the 7-7 portal, like I told you. But guess when it comes out of retrograde? The 12-12 portal. So there is definitely a story here that is coming alive or reaching its next stage around dreams, around what is hidden. And I don't want you to be thinking about monsters here. I want you to really spend some time on what you have chosen to conceal. I've been thinking about in my personal life masking, which is more of an ADHD thing than maybe some of you need to reference, but behaviors or parts of myself that I've masked because it's not even that they weren't socially acceptable. It was more that you didn't want to be seen as weaker. That's what it was for me. So think about what you've hidden for the status quo and how over the next Neptune retrograde and also the movement of Sirius in the next month, how much you want to retell that story from a place of sovereignty and empowerment. So those are my first sets of dates for you. And I also would just want to flag while we're talking about Neptune, and we've touched on Saturn a bit here. The 20th of Feb was when we had Neptune and Saturn conjunct at that 0 point of Aries. First time in like 6,500 years that's happened. What does that feel like for you? So since February, end of Feb to now, how has that journey of hiding your true identity, bringing your true identity and your dreams to the fore? If that resonates, those are the dates to pick. If Sirius and the Lion's Gate is resonant to you, if that's something that is exciting to you, these are dates to bear in mind. Sirius started dropping from the sky or going behind the sun around the end of May. The dates all differ slightly because it depends how far north you are. So I've done these dates based on Los Angeles, where I am now. And the conjunction always around the same time, few days before, few days after. But the descent and the rise will be different depending where you are in the world. So based on LA, 28th of May. And the rise, so the actual Lion's Gate portal, 5th of August. The other dates that I just want to give you are around Venus and Virgo. Venus is moving into Virgo on Thursday, the 9th, stays there till August the 6th, very similar dates to the movement of Sirius and the Lion's Gate. The last time Venus was in the Virgo was the 19th of September to October 13, 2025. And then the one time before that was August the 4th to August the 29th, 2024. For me, those dates weren't that pingy. I could have stopped saying pingy. But I sent it to a good friend of mine, and for her, it was significant. This is really about how your standards have changed. And I know that everybody was really feeling it when we were talking about the standards last week. It's about raising them to your worth, not dropping them to suit other people. So how have your standards changed around romantic partnerships, work partnerships, how you make your money, love, creativity, and beauty? It can also really be about true radical self-care. There's numerous ways to work and interpret this energy. Parts of what I'm saying will ping you so hard, and other parts will not resonate at all. And that's okay. That's half of the brilliance of doing this work. Take what resonates and make a note of the things that you think are interesting, because further down the line, they may be the connection that you need. And I'll say it again, this is a month that won't make sense until we have a little distance from it. We're going to need to be able to see it as a whole. Right now, we're too close to these really big energies and these really big transits to truly understand what they're doing. And there's been so much inner work to get here, so much trusting in things that we can't see, that we can't see them. It's going to take a minute for us to have that physical evidence. And that is honestly why I'm so excited about it. I love the possibility in all of this before we can actually see it. I love the possibility. It's exciting to me. I used to be like this in music as well. I loved working on artists just before they really had that big break. Once an artist breaks, great money, but you know what's going to happen. The tickets are guaranteed. The chart positions are guaranteed. The collabs are guaranteed. It's happening. And then it becomes more a job of how do you keep this hot. For me, the excitement wasn't always the breaking of the artist. I love that energy. It's so alive. And I think that that is a beautiful place to end the podcast this week. I have in the membership made a Sun-Sirius breathwork, and it is, what did I write here? Let me tell you, your ambition was never given to you so you could feel frustrated by it. That's what the Sun and Sirius is about when it makes this movement in July and August. That's what the Lion's Gate is about. It is about feeling your ambition, and it is about frequency matching. You could be living in your highest timeline before it actually arrives. Well, you have to be. There's so much about quantum theory right now, and so many people getting involved in it. I've been doing quantum meditation and breath work since 2019. Been doing sound healing since 2018. So many people are catching up to it. I believe that sound healing gives you access to the quantum field, the sound bowls, the frequency. And I truly believe that you can get into the quantum field, into quantum meditation via breath work. So if you're ready to start touching on those things, or you're just ready to feel this energy, try the free side of the community. And in the paid community, I'm doing something slightly more different and more scientific, 3-day sleep, gentle breath work, because the solar flares are way too much. I don't know how you're sleeping. I am sleeping well, but it takes a whole ritual to get into it. And my husband his sleep's all over the place. All my friends' sleep are all over the place. Letting science and magic meet, letting frequencies come together. That's what I would say about this week. And I'm going to leave it there. But I love hanging out with you as always. Please drop into the comments. It's really nice being able to see names and avatars. I'm dyslexic, so I actually recognize the avatars quicker than I recognize the names, especially if your screen name is something that is more of a fun thing for you rather than a word that I might recognize. So it's really lovely to recognize your avatars in there, to feel and connect the stories that you've been telling me since February. I really love seeing you in there, and I really love seeing some of you come over to the free community or the paid membership. Next month, I will be opening up my privates again, so I hope that if you want to try this out in real time, we can. But for now, I'm going to leave it there. I love speaking to you. I love being here. Gosh, I can't wait for next week. I don't want to rush away from this week, which is also great, but oh my gosh, next week, that new moon, that basket, that minor grand trine. We're so lucky to be alive in this moment. See you next week.